episode 7. So, let us start with life back at the Ark, in the hopes that Unicorn might join us in a bit. Just to get some maintenance out of the way, you have got 6 of the Kodiaks with you.
Right.
Which leaves... they're out on expedition. Which leaves quite a few left back on the Ark. Now, this would be you, Orson, making a decision as to what orders did you give them. The only thing that was mentioned was that Chelsea was going to keep eyes on the murder investigation, and what I also had written down is along with McKellen, although that wasn't an order to McKellen. I just assumed McKellen would be looking into it. Which you've already expressed that room, so that fit. The rest of the Kodiaks, I think that's 8 of them. Are they going to be working on the Ark projects?
Yeah, that's the best thing for them to be doing.
Okay. Let's go ahead and roll for that and see what's happening with that before. Although if they're successful, the effects of it won't be until the end of the session. So we need, for annual rights, we need comprehend or manipulate. And then burial site, we need manipulate or heal.
And I can assist on these, if I take it.
You can, although if you spend your time doing that, that's going to be your day. Or part of it anyway. It's not necessarily an entire day. So that's up to you if you want to do that. But as a game mechanic, out of character, you get an experience point for working on an Ark project in a session.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Also, I think getting the culture stuff up is in my best interest as well. So I think I probably will, and let the murder go a little bit colder. But I'm going to pop on that afterwards, I think.
Okay, that's fine. Well, nothing new has happened, so he's in custody. It's almost positive that he did it. Why he did it? Some sort of voices. I forget to say that. Voices. He heard voices telling him that he had to murder this person. And it was an overwhelming emotion. He couldn't stop it. He didn't wake up from it until he found himself down in that boiler room. Anyway.
All right, so for the role that they do I substitute a command role for them since they're my gang?
Yes, you have to command them to do this stuff.
Okay.
And I'll just to make it interesting, hold on, I'm assuming here. 2 projects. Do you want to split 4 of them on one project and 4 of them on the other?
What are the 2 projects we've got going right now?
Annual rights and burial site. And burial site requires 8 successes, and annual rights requires 4.
Yeah, let's just split them between the 2.
Okay, so I'm going to call it as 2 different command roles, 2 different groups.
Okay.
That way, if you have a fail, it's not the whole lot.
Okay.
So
I want to go ahead.
I want to concentrate on annual rights, and I think I want to try and actually write the scripture for the speeches and things that are made for these annual rights.
Oh, cool.
And make sure there's lots of references to the elders, and the founding of the Ark being closely linked to giving thanks to the elders for the technology that she has.
Appropriate for your character. I love it.
Yeah, make sure a Scotian doesn't sneak in anti-elder sentiment.
Yes. Okay. So that's a comprehend or manipulate for you, and then let's look up the command. Let's see. Oh dear. You are unsuccessful. You can push, although if you do, that's 2 points of damage you're going to have.
And the damage is going to be to empathy, right?
Let me double check. It's whatever. Yes, it will be to empathy, although you've got quite a bit of it to spare. But and you gain empathy back by. I haven't got all these things memorized yet. It's a new game.
Bring up
See Julia.
close moment with people, I think.
Yeah, with another mutant, which could be like Astrina, perhaps, who's the head of the Chroniclers, or the rest of your PCs are gone at the moment. But yeah, it's up to you.
No, I do want to get this right. I will try pushing, I think.
Okay. Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god. You are depressed. You're so depressed right now. Your friends have left on an expedition. There's a murder investigation going on, and you just couldn't get the right words to say on this.
You're just crippled with writer's block. Just...
Yes. Oh my. That's amazing.
Oops.
Yeah, okay. Alright, command roll. Oh, it's just a straight up. There's no bonuses here. Looks like oh yes there is, sorry. Yes, let's go back to you, Orson, then for your 2 command rolls.
Okay.
Bit retconning here, but
all right. So let's do the burial rites first.
Yeah, let's see. Are you offering a reward? Significant reward.
Let me look here. Got a lot of bullets right now.
Say they can.
Yeah, let's say if we make good progress today, that on each of these jobs, I'll dole out 2 bullets to the teams.
So
to each team.
Okay. So that's +1 on your roll. The task has low risk of harm, so that's +2. Yeah. So yeah, +2.
Okay.
That's for both of them.
All right. So for the first one, this would be burial rites.
Nice.
2 successes. Oh, there's no stunts for that one. Okay. That is successful. I will make a roll for them. I think I'm going to translate that extra, since there's no stunts there. Let's do I'm going to give them a +1 on their roll for the burial site. Is that what you did first?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's do that roll first. Let's see. I'll roll for Charlie and have +3 on his roll because he's got 3 people in his team helping him, but then another +1 because of your bonus here. 3, 4, 5. Oops. Wrong. There we go. A single success from all of that. All right, well, there's that. Sorry, that was burial rites, is that right?
Yeah.
Burial site, sorry. All right. I don't know why I keep asking. I keep forgetting. Still got 7 successes remaining on that one. All right, and then do your command roll for the annual rites. And same +2 on your roll. Single success, okay. And it is comprehend, manipulate. All right. So it's 1 die less. 2 successes. That one's halfway done. Oh no. If Escartian comes in and does, he's going to take that victory from McKellen.
Damn it.
No.
And I'm just going to roll for Escartian to see what's going on with that. And Escartian's working on that alone. Oh dear. He's got a lot of dice. One success. That's left 1 for McKellen for tomorrow. Still a chance. They've done a lot of the work, but you come in, but you've got the definitive way of doing it. All right.
Okay. Both of my guys succeeded, so I'll mark the bullets off. There we go.
Oh, yes, of course. Did you do that off the journal?
No, I did it out of my personal stock.
Oh, okay. I think yeah, you took all 6 from the gang loot anyway. That's another thing. Rome, there's a new journal called Gang Loot, and it's editable by all of you. So that's just stuff that has been taken.
Right.
That is kind of like a global pool, but we've got written down what has been taken on the current run. Okay, and on the burial site, I'm going to have a few roll on that from Maximon's team. Two successes. All right, that leaves 5. Okay, maintenance done. Okay then. Well, let's see. They were journeying. So this is what you were doing while they were driving. Because they were in a car, it took them 4 hours to get to the shore of where the island was. And I would say that you're not going to spend all day working on the script to be said there. So by the time they arrive, what would you, this is for McKellen, what would you continue to do? So you're thoroughly depressed right now.
Right.
It's doubt. It's lack of confidence, distrust, disappointment, and sadness. Doesn't mean all of those things. It would one of those things or a combination is what you're feeling.
Well, with the Scotch not being able to get his words in before me and wrecking the rights, I think I'm just going to change gear for the day. I want to speak to is it Victor? No, Victor's murdered. Cole.
Yeah, he's currently in the brig, as it were.
Right, so I make my way to the brig. See if I
Okay.
can get access.
This is going to be, and this is my next thing to get for this campaign is a map of the runway. It's my next. I need that to happen, but anyway, theater of the mind for now. This is in Maximon's area of the airport. He has quite a few rooms. Part of it is lodging for his gang, but he also has the control tower. I believe we decided from the very beginning.
Yeah, that seems about right.
And although that isn't where the brig is, but there is an area cordoned off, and 2 of his guards stand out front.
Good afternoon. Looking to speak to the prisoner.
Does Maximon know?
Not currently, but if you want to tell Maximum, you're welcome to.
And he motions to the other one, go check it out. And the other one runs off. Meanwhile, this one's, what do you want to talk to him? We've already grilled him. He did it. We're just waiting to decide his punishment.
Yes, I expect that he did do it. But some things aren't sitting right with me. And I'd like to wrap this up in a neat little bow.
He rolls his eyes. This one isn't known for a lot of culture. And then he proceeds to just look straight on and not really talk to you. He's taking his job a little bit too seriously, perhaps. Cole's not going anywhere. But you can tell he feels really important now, this guard.
Yeah.
Shortly after that, the other one... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to sort of start heading past him. Maximum will not object to a chronicler visiting him.
I don't know about that. And he kind of takes a half a step in your way. And right about that time, the other one comes back. Maximum said to let him through, but to keep an eye on the door. And you can see this guy who stood in your way. Like he just feels belittled because he thought he was being a badass.
I
Right.
admire your commitment to your job.
Right. No.
I head on.
If you yell if he freaks out on you.
Will do.
And he steps aside, pulls out a key and unlocks the door. And then shuts it behind you. And you can hear a latch go behind you on it. Cole is sat on the opposite end of the room, in the corner on the floor. There's no longer any blood on his skin or his face, his hands or his face. His bloody clothes have been removed, but he is wearing like a simple like a robe, not like a bathrobe, but like a tunic type of thing.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even acknowledge you coming in. He just sat there with his head in his hands, his elbows resting on his knees, and he's not even facing towards the door. His left side is towards the door.
Clear my throat.
A very quick glance out of his left eye up your way. Not even moving his head. It's mostly just his eye that moves. Probably only sees your feet and maybe up to your knees. What do you want?
I'm McKellen with the Chroniclers, as you may or may not know. I have a few questions about this whole business.
You come to get
First of all,
revenge.
justice does not work like that.
Victor was one of you.
Yes, he was. And a great loss to the runway.
I know it. I don't understand.
Well, I'm here to help you understand if I can. First of all, have you been fed and watered today?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, I have.
I take out a notepad and get the end of the pencil sharp. Right. So, start from the start. What is it you know? I hear you seem to claim that you have no memory of the incident in question.
It's only a dream. A dream memory. You know, do you like when you wake up in the morning and you've had a dream and it's right at the start it's just fresh and vivid, within a few minutes it's gone? And the difference is, although the memory is hazy like a dream memory, but it hasn't left. I keep replaying it over and over and over. I woke up. I guess, I don't know. I feel like I was dreaming about this, and in my dream, I had to. Something about Victor, he was threatening the Ark or something, and I had to defend the Ark. But at all costs, I had to stop him. And then the dream, I don't know. It was just a thought in my mind. You know, like when you're in a dream and suddenly you find yourself out walking somewhere. You don't remember how you got there. It was like that. Suddenly I just had this thought that he was a danger. And then the dream shifted. Became more lucid. Like I had more control of it instead of just being, you know, like in a movie. Oh, you wouldn't know what a movie is, sorry. Like in a story. And then I saw myself. I went in his bed. The rest of his group had left the room. It was morning. I grabbed his machete that was nearby. And I just kept on cutting, chopping, hitting. And then I ran. And I woke up down below, covered in blood, and the machete next to me. And then I thought it was a dream. But there was the physical evidence. I still can't believe it. Victor was a friend of mine. I mean, we weren't close friends. I mean, you know, we used to drink together sometimes. Been on some work projects together. Been out in the zone expedition with them before. But he certainly wasn't an enemy. But I've never acted like this before. What does it mean, McKellen? What does it mean?
I have my suspicions. What was your last clear memory?
And before going to bed last night?
Before this hazy dream began.
Well, I mean, yesterday was a normal day. I went out. I don't know, since we've been building up the defenses and building up the bridge, I thought I'd scope out the perimeter of the island to see if there was other areas, that we might fortify or something, to do my part. And I was just scavenging and stuff. But that's normal. I didn't find anything out of the ordinary. I found some metal bits that Pontiac says was called a hinge. I don't know what that means, but he thought
Well,
they
it's
might
not
be
good.
useful.
Okay. I want to use Puppeteer on him. And I'm going to make him stand up and then scratch like a drawing on the wall. With like a tree or something.
Okay, that's one. Oh, we didn't do mutation points today.
Already at max.
Oh, are you?
Like
Okay.
I got so many of those failures, I just went straight to max.
Okay. Yes. Lack, everybody, I'll get to you for your Pharaoh points and stuff in a moment. We'll do that right before we pick up the action with you guys. Okay. You spend a point.
Yeah.
And
What I roll?
you don't. You don't roll.
Isn't that something to see whether or not something bad happens?
Oh, yes. Sorry. God damn it. I'll get used to these rolls at some point. You roll. So if you're just spending one mutation point, you just roll one base die, not a skill die, a base die.
Okay. So it
Everything's
goes off as
fine.
normal.
Yeah, happens normal. Okay. Unicorn is rolling those all the time. He's like, come on, new mutation, new mutation. Okay. So he stands up and he doesn't have. Oh, you have a pen. Do you hand him a pen?
Yeah, I do. In fact, but not to scratch it on the wall. I'll get him to draw on the paper.
Okay. And I'm resisting the temptation of singing "I've got no strings to hold me down." I don't know the name of the song, but but he reaches out, grabs the pen, and
In fact, I get him to draw a picture of Victor.
and let's see. Let's see how bad his drawing is. Wow.
Very good.
It's very strikingly like him. Captured it, but he is so that was that just it to draw the picture?
Yeah, I mean, I'll have a quick look at the picture. Does it look like someone who would have known him quite well
Um,
to capture his likeness?
yeah. Well, you could recognize it from you can recognize Victor from the drawing. So yeah, with two successes like that. But
then,
it could have just been a really good drawing of a person. But yeah, it does look like Victor.
okay. And then I click my fingers and release him from the puppeteering.
Is the pen still in his hand when you do that?
Sure, yeah. don't mind.
What? What happened? What? How did this pen
Now,
get in my hand?
what I've done is used a mutation power upon you, gifted to me by the elders, to control you.
What? Why?
Now, what I want to know is, do you feel now as you did when coming out of this hazy dream?
He thinks
How
for a
similar
second.
are the experience?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I. It's a little vague. I remember drawing that. I don't
Now
remember why.
I want to use telepathy on him to find out what he's thinking at the moment. So I'm just spending 1 for that.
Oh, what does that mean? I forget.
I think that's okay. I think I just need the biohazard for misfire. So 1 rather than the 6.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you're right. Let me look at telepathy first, the description of it. Just to make sure I get all the parameters right. What is he thinking right now? Okay. What he's thinking is, if somebody controlled me to do this murder, who? And then his mind shifts. Was it McKellen? Is he here to harm? And he kind of backs up and goes back to the corner and is looking at you.
No, it wouldn't be very tidy for me to come here and put the idea in your head.
How?
Which I could do if I wanted to.
How did you know?
Because I can read your mind.
You get a lingering, as you're looking into his mind, sort of power is starting to fade. You get as it's fading away, you get a, stop it.
That is the most matter-of-fact revelation of I can read your mind I have ever heard. Because I can read your mind. It's a thing I do.
And I am not the only one that can do so. But it does mean that our list of suspects grows thinner.
Right.
So thinking about the use of my own powers, how... So he said he was going around the perimeter. If someone was puppeteering him... Actually, no, I know that you have to make eye contact with them, actually. But is distance a factor in puppeteer?
Well, as long as you can, it doesn't list anything, so it's just eye contact. Let's see, let me look at it. I think it does get specific. You have to look them in the eye.
Oh wait, it says up to near range, so
yeah,
let's be
there
close.
it is.
Now, if someone made you do this in the same way that I would be able to, it would have to be someone who was very close to you, physically. I mean, so in the day leading up to this dream, did anyone make intensive eye contact with you?
No, not that I can remember, but I mean, I don't know if I would know, if someone was just looking at me in a conversation, but everyone I talk to are friends of mine. So you're saying it's possible that I'm not technically to blame for this?
Yes. In fact, I would even go so far to say that it's likely.
and his demeanor changes. Instead of being all hunched over and dejected, he just a little faint glimmer of hope in his eyes. You gotta help me, McKellen. Maximon and his crew don't believe anything. I think they aim to kill me. Or to cast me out of the Ark.
They think this is simpler than it is. I will do what I can. But I think I've exhausted what I can learn from you. I'll speak to you again when I know more.
Thank you.
And then I'll head out.
And as you head out, you saw that he didn't go back to sitting in the corner. He's gone to sit on the bedroll that's put in there.
Oh, and I also get my pencil back.
Yeah. And you see he's just lost in thought now. Huh. All right.
So, I ever think about what kind of motive might be playing out here. What do I know about Victor as a chronicler? Like, is there like a particular political split that he'd be on one side of?
No, he was very, very focused. I mean, all the chroniclers are focused on taking care of the elder, but he was especially focused on that. I mean, all of the chroniclers take part in gathering knowledge and such, but more of his time was just spent making sure the elder was comfortable. He wasn't always he loved gathering knowledge, and before the elder was ill, he loved to listen for hours and hours, stories the elder would tell, knowledge he might give. But other than that, it tends to mostly focus on the direction that Estrina gives, and has worked very well with the rest of the chroniclers.
Do I know many people within the Ark that have puppeteer powers like I do? I suppose it's an easy one to hide.
Everyone's powers as far as a player goes that's on this sheet that we've made. The fact is, all of these mutants, all of them, you have grown up with.
Yeah.
And so, those with these abilities, when very young, wouldn't think to hide them because there'd be practical jokes of, you think of what kids might be like with a puppeteer ability with their friends. I'm just looking through the list myself, and I'm not sure that...
There's one in my lot's gang. Yeah, that's it. Me and someone in my lot's gang, which kind of narrows it down a bit.
I only just put this together today. I don't think I want it to be just one puppeteer.
There are several other people with telepathy. If those two, would be considered like, related abilities.
Telepathy does let you implant a thought.
Mind terror might be an option too. If you make someone afraid... We'll see if that applies. Torment your victim with visions that inflict confusion or doubt. create an illusion so grand the victim will believe it to be real. The illusion that Victor was a danger. If you broaden it out then to include telepathy and mind terror, there's quite a few. But you can narrow it down to a handful. There's a mind terrorist in the chroniclers. There's a telepath in the chroniclers. Then Marlott have a puppeteer, a telepath, 2 telepaths.
There's another mind terror in Marlot's group.
Oh, I missed that one.
There's another one who is just in Maximon's. There's 2 in Maximon's. 3.
Yeah, well, just glancing through these and then the non-gangs as well. Good God.
Yeah.
That's the biggest group. But you can probably narrow it down to 20 odd, I would have thought. Just rough guess. That's a lot. That's a lot less. Okay.
What would be the usual arc procedure for this? Is there going to be a trial, or is he the boss that he's arrested by just going to make a judgment?
Well, things have changed since the Elder got ill, and it's not been so long that the Elder's been ill. The Elder was more lenient and treated you all as if you were his children, that he was your guide as you're growing up. And even though you guys, when you guys became adults, he still, would treat you that way. Those that have missed, there's never been a murder. So you've had things, people stealing rations, fights breaking out, people not sharing artifacts they might have found, to help the Ark. That was the extent of the sort of bad behavior, and those things were met with meeting with the Elder, and sometimes not necessarily confinement, but basically a more grown-up version of the timeout chair of sorts. But
right.
Extra chores.
Yeah, things like that.
He wouldn't let you listen to your AC/DC albums.
No, no internet, no phone. Go to bed early. But since then, since the Elder has been out of it for a lot of the last year, the gangs have risen up to kind of exert more force, and the larger the gang, the more force. So that's Maximon, who's been leading the way on this. And so you have somewhat of a mob rule sort of situation. Though, again, there's never been a murder. But in the time leading up before this campaign began, stealing grub, stealing water was met with a public beating. No one's been cast out of the Ark, or there's been forced labor, generally judged by Maximon and Sixter, his advisor. And trials were usually quite public to make an example. If you call it a trial, it's by far not a fair trial. People are invited to speak on behalf of the accused if there's other evidence. But it's kind of authoritarian, really, the way it runs. So Cole's fate, you can only imagine, is not going to go very well for him. And just getting beaten in public is probably not going to be enough. I mean,
Right, I need to go and speak to Maximum then, I think.
Okay. And it doesn't look like the Unicorn's going to join us, so we'll deal with that, and then we'll switch to the gang out in the zone. So Maximon, you know at this point, and you know the direction that the other guard went, is probably up in the control tower.
Right, okay. Make my way with it.
And as you... hold on a second. All right. As you left the brig, the guard, the one you were talking to, was that worth your time?
I think it was. Yes.
He's guilty as hell.
He killed Victor, certainly.
Yeah.
But I still need to speak to Maximum regarding this case.
You can try, but his mind's pretty made up. He's upstairs.
Thank you. Head on through.
And there's a number of stairs. There's a couple of floors leading up to it that it just got various members of the gang hanging out. It's like a planning room, you know that Maximon uses it for that sort of thing. There's maps on the wall. But on up in the control tower is where he holds court. And you've been there once before, and it's kind of gone to his head. He's got this grand chair that he calls the throne. Sixter is often there with him, which is the case at the moment, and some other trusted advisors. Few of his people are looking out the windows, just keeping an eye on the Ark, looking at, because you can see 360, just how he keeps an eye on everything. McKellen, what do I owe this visitation?
Well, just one moment. I lean on the top of the stairs and catch my breath.
Oh.
Spend a good 20 seconds panting. Oh, sorry. All right.
Yeah,
I'm afraid you're not going to like this social call, I'm afraid.
Oh, great. I'm looking forward to it already.
I've just spoken to your prisoner.
Oh, yeah?
This murder of Victor.
It's a first for the Ark.
It is, and I fear that it's even more abhorrent than the crime of passion it appears to be.
What do you mean? Cole had a rage and he killed Victor. What more is there to it?
Cole killed Victor. I cannot deny that Cole killed Victor.
So what's the
all
debate?
over him. He had the murder weapon. No doubt you've heard his testimony that he felt as if he was in some kind of fugue state.
Yeah, trying to get out of it. Typical, isn't it? No, it wasn't me.
Well, it is certainly an attempt that you could make it a defense, particularly in something as clear-cut as it seems to be. But such powers do exist. In fact, I possess such abilities myself.
I am aware.
I probed Cole's mind, and the way he thinks of this, it does align with something influencing his mind to make him do this. Coupled with the fact that I don't see any motive for him. He was in fact friends with Victor. I think we have a psychic somewhere in the Ark.
Yeah, you think? There's a lot of them.
Yes. Well, more specifically, I think we have a psychic killer.
I think you're going to make my day a whole hell of a lot worse than what it's been.
Yes. I don't imagine many people are going to find this opinion popular, but surely you can see that it makes sense.
And he was kind of reclined back on his chair, holding his. He's got this silver-handled cane that he carries. Almost like it was a royal scepter sort of thing. And he sits forward, puts both legs down, and the cane in between them, on the ground, I mean, resting both hands on top of it. What are you proposing, McKellen? We round up every telepath in this arc?
It might come to that, but I don't want to see that happen. That would cause a panic. Besides, I don't think that's the best way of flushing them out. All I'm asking for you at this point is a little time to work this.
Time. The whole arc is screaming for revenge or justice or an end to the terror. We're on a tipping point.
You're not wrong. I'll tell you what will make that tipping point tip is if there's another murder with Cole still in bars. Victor was a pretty inoffensive chap as far as the chroniclers go. I don't see why, apart from his position as chronicler, that he would be targeted.
No. There's no motive there. That's what I've been racking my head around.
No motive for Cole. But if someone wanted to really jab a nail right into the heart of the Ark, they would do so by taking out those who take care of it. Victor spent most of his efforts in keeping the Elder in what good health we can.
Right. Here's my dilemma, McKellen. Justice served on Cole. Doesn't matter whether it happens in the next minute or the next couple of days, justice will be served. If he was under the influence of another, then the other needs to be punished. But
yes,
the longer that I keep him here, and if it is another causing this, and it causes someone else to be murdered, it's a no-win situation.
well, it's an unlikely situation. But criminals slip up, one way or another. I just need time to find that slip. How long can you give me?
He looks up at Sixter, who's standing right over his left shoulder. Sixter kind of raises his eyebrows. And then Maximon looks back at you. This day is almost over. I want to see you again. Whatever you found. This time tomorrow night. And I hope to the elders that there's not another murder between now and then.
As do I. That's a reasonable request, and I'll come back to you with what more I've learnt. This time tomorrow.
Do you need anything for your investigation?
Possibly access to those within your gang that might have similar powers. I might make
If you find
requests
that
to the other bosses.
any of my gang have been the cause of this, I will deal with them personally.
Oh, yes, I would expect that you will.
I ask you this. Whatever you find, and your theory here, don't spread it around.
I don't intend to. That would only spook the Ark as a whole, but more importantly, the perpetrator.
Very well. You have my blessing.
Thank you, Maximum. I will see you tomorrow. And then I give a weary look to the stairs. Take one breath and start going down.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you are.
I'm so frail.
Yes.
Trace isn't here to carry you around.
Oh, yeah, your agility is 1. And right now, so is your empathy. No, I was going to make you make a manipulate roll, but your argument was so well thought out that the role playing sufficed for a roll, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Let us, before I forget anymore, update all of the mutation points and feral points. So, let's see. Orson, you get 2 feral points. And I'm updating all your Kodiaks.
What's my maximum? 10.
Maximum is
What's my-
10. Max is
10.
10, yeah.
Is Connie still in the Ark?
Who?
One of the Kodiaks, Connie.
No,
Pretty sure
she's
Yeah,
with.
she came with us.
Okay, no worries.
Oh, I'll write down who. Let's see. 1 second. I'm updating all these.
Yeah, before I go to bed, I need to find a moment of connection with someone to
Yes.
get rid of my doubt. So probably one of the other chronicles then, I guess. I will think of one I trust and talk them through the day.
I've updated all the Kodiaks. Okay. So that was your evening. So I need to go do the evening for the other half.
I like the compare and contrast between a day with McKellen at the Ark and a day with Vinny at the Ark.
Yeah. Vinny's
different
like,
vibes.
who can I manipulate?
That's right, I'm getting confused. Vinny's the one that goes to see Julia.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right. So I've done some prep. This is the smallest I can make these tokens. The coding just doesn't let me make them any smaller.
I think it works.
But as long as you
Yeah.
can roughly see your layout here, um, and the order of you there, I took my liberties there, so we can change the order that you're standing. Um, but you heard a sound. Let's see. Time. Yeah. Roughly similar to a Nazgul from Lord of the Rings, and they rose up. Not quite as loud as a Nazgul. And they are, well, it's hard to see. There's a lot of overgrowth here, as the drawing mostly represents.
Oh, there's unicorn.
Good timing.
You're on mute if you can't see that.
Of course I was. Yeah, sorry about that, everybody. I got back in town 2 days ago after being gone 3 weeks, and just my schedule's all messed up and it slipped my mind. But I'm here.
That's okay. We have room back, and
I know.
and we've just we focused on what's going on with him. So we're actually just now jumping to your group on this island. So you haven't. Well, you've only missed story, and it's been pretty good too. So you have to watch the
Well,
recording later.
I'm excited to go listen to it. Yeah.
But right now, I need you to roll initiative when you get logged in.
Oh, shit. Okay. Give me like
So
2 minutes.
there you go. So, hi unicorn, roll initiative. You're about to die.
Then he runs and hides.
Tell you what, I'm gonna put this on just a brief break. Okay. Before this combat begins, because you are ambushed, I do need to give you a chance to detect that. So I need to have scout rolls from you all, and for scan for trace.
Oh,
Blech.
And wow, you guys are not very perceptive. Let's see. Let me roll for the rest
I
of
didn't notice that you said that about us.
Let's see. Let me do Sisu. Yeah, it's on public roll. The rabbit is blind. Annika is not. Can't get anything past Annika. How about Connie? Connie is able to notice. Crystal. Look at that! Crystal with her cryokinesis and wow, okay, and then Eobard. Not a whole lot of skill here. No. Okay, Crystal, she gets 3 questions. Is it coming for me? Are there more of them close by? And how do I get in, past, and away? Although it all happens very quickly, and both Unicorn, there's a lot of strange sounds coming from your mic, just so you know. It's gone mostly now.
apparently it wasn't plugged in.
Oh, right. Let's see, Connie and then both, and Annika. Is this the order that you guys want to be at on the island? Although you don't take up that much physical space, but of all the NPCs with you and yourselves?
Yeah, I mean, that works for me.
All right. I figured Orson would lead the way, but let's see. Crystal, where she's at, Connie's right up there next to you, and Annika's over there. Okay, so you've prevented them from getting a free action against you, and so right as you're hearing the screech, Annika and Connie notice the movement. So Connie's next to you and hunches down and goes, Orson, ahead, and she points on the ridge, the line in front of you, and then you hear Annika as well. Annika calls to Zissou and Vinny. So there, and then Crystal's looking off to the right to see the other two around the corner of the tower. So that has prevented an ambush. They were going to get a free attack on all of you, so you've ruined my plans there. And I'm about to begin combat, so it's going to do the... I think I still have the timer enacted, so... I can't remember if the coding on this one is you have to right-click and target your opponent. Or I know you do with Lord of the Rings, I just cannot remember now.
Yeah, double right click does target.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. All right. So, are you ready, Trace?
Ready as I'm gonna be.
All right, go.
One thing.
Okay, so Trace, I'm gonna move up to here and using the what do we call it? Boomsticks, attack that guy or shotgun. I think. Yeah.
One success, damage of 3. Now you don't notice anything like junk armor or anything on him.
Do I reduce my bullets when I do that?
Yes. A single
Okay.
bullet.
All right.
You started to say something there.
I was just trying to get an idea of what the ranges are like on this map.
Yes, that is not clear at all for it. And before we carry on, did I make a distance? Yes, the distance I've made is accurate for the foreground,
Okay.
but because that's done in perspective, like if I do a
Right.
measurement there, like I measured it for the dock to this building,
Okay.
but
All right.
when you go in the back, that's not accurate at all.
Okay. So the further past that little building we get, the less accurate it becomes.
Yeah, so at least you get a rough idea of what's going on with it. I forgot I did that. Right. Anyway. Carrying on. Once again, I forget that I have the measurement tool on. This one's moving up entirely and not drawing anything and grabbing this one that has just been hit and beginning to drag him back. Him, it, her, you don't know. All right, Vinny, you are on your go.
Vinny hides behind. Well, did Orson? Orson hasn't run in yet, so Vinny hides behind him.
Okay. This your new ability, your new talent?
If he gets hit,
Oh,
is when
yes.
it kicks in.
I don't know if Lack knows you have this talent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know if there's any like hide or evade action during combat in this game you can take?
Oh dear. Hold on. I've got a few different game systems going through my head right now.
I know.
Because I've been relearning 5e and things blur together.
I know the feeling. I get it every time I sit down to play any game.
I mean, for the most part, it becomes a a house rule or something, or a
It's kind of like you just start
homebrew.
keeping the good parts from each system and just merging them all together.
Yeah.
See.
There's a defense maneuver. That's in melee combat. Range combat, you can dive for cover.
So dive for cover probably then, because I'm not really next to anything.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's just seeking cover, and you've chosen a 9-foot bear as your cover. Okay. All right. Annika is up, and I can't target with her because I'm a GM. For some reason, it doesn't give me that option. But I can still roll, and I know which one she's going to hit. And I've actually was having her aim for the one who's next. Here. Oh yeah, she's got her scrap rifle, which was out anyway. And we are... I'm going to give this a -1 for range. And she has missed. All right. And this one's going to shoot back at her. He has a bow. Excuse me. Oh dear. Anakin's armor. No luck, which means... Let's see, stunts. Yes, so he's not using the other stunt for damage, although it does reduce her armor, so her armor is now ruined. Her jacket is completely useless. Because her armor didn't mitigate all the damage. I do remember that rule from last time. But the other success, he is knocking her back. So she's, damn it. Come on. She's fallen back into the Thames. Not very pleasant water.
Doomed.
Yes.
Even in pre-apocalypse times.
Yes.
Good thing it's shallow.
Yes. So the one that you had hit, Trace, is kind of using his effort to crawl back. And the one that came to help him, I'm just going to move him with it, even though he's already had his action, but they didn't move far. Eobard, right there with you, Trace, is targeting the one next to them that's still there. Eobard, first time out with us. Ah, he's got a machete. So he's going to take cover. Ducking behind this tower. This one's taking a shot at Orson. -1 for range. Armor roll, please, Orson.
Okay.
And it's only 1 point of damage if... Oh, you've only got 1 armor point left.
Well, that's just for the shield.
Oh, of course. So that means your shield... Your shield is naturally now useless.
Okay. So it gets reduced to 0.
Yeah.
All right.
It's already
So
had
now
a
for the
couple
armor.
knocks off of it, but now your armor can still go to try to mitigate your damage.
Right.
You're going to need to pay a visit to Pontiac. Oh no! Your armor's
Okay.
reduced now.
So it looks like I'm just gonna have to go to being huge.
I do like the rules for armor. It's more realistic without being overly cumbersome with mechanic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with like hit locations and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to use a feral point to reduce the damage by 1.
Okay.
So how much should I take?
1 point.
Okay. Does that go to strength, agility?
Strength is what it would have been.
Okay.
So your feral point mitigates that completely.
Oh, it was just 1 point to start with?
Yeah, it's only a total of 1
Okay.
point. Yeah.
Okay.
Next one, taking a shot at Zissou. Bow, -1 for range. It's a little bit distant and completely whizzed by Zissou. Zissou ducked and his ears went flopping. Crystal has got dogs, and I didn't bring the dog tokens out. I only have tokens for Charlie's dogs. I didn't get hers. Oops.
That's true, yeah.
All right. Well, and she does have 2 dogs. Is that right?
Yeah, I think all the dog handlers have 2 dogs.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use the same tokens, which are probably going to be gigantic on here. Not too
Hey, they're
bad.
mutant dogs. Mm.
Oh, come on. Can't believe that the size worked on them. A little bit. So we got Butch and Scraps. That's Charlie's dog's name, but oh well. They changed their size. I can only make them slightly smaller than what they were. I really wish that wasn't limited. And Alien, you can change whatever size you want to. Alright. She's gonna send them forward. She says, stick them. So these dogs are just running full tilt. And I'm only going to let them get that far. We are talking about several yards here. Zissou, not liking the fact that he was targeted. What does he have? He's only got a machete. Damn. Alright. So he will move this way. Orson, you are up.
Okay. This group of ghouls that I'm facing off with over here, they're armed with bows.
That's all you've seen so far. You don't know if they have any hand combat weapons. And
Okay.
they're kind of hiding behind the pipes, the horizontal pipes that are on the ground.
Alright, I'm just going to take off and start trying to close the distance with them then.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I'm chasing after the dogs right now.
okay. What a sight to be seen. 2 violent dogs running full tilt, barking, and then this giant bear behind them. Connie, who has her crossbow, her brand new crossbow. Well, new to her. It's actually quite ancient. Not one hit. She's got a hell of a lot of dice, too. Alright. Goes to their turn. And what happens is, over the space of just a few seconds, they disappear. I don't mean like fade from existence in front of you, but they duck down behind the underbrush, and you don't notice them at all. And even the one that's been injured over here, being drug off, you see them go this way behind the tower, and as far as you know, they're around the tower.
What's happening? Where did they go? Vinny ran behind the nearest Kodiak as soon as Orson ran away.
Sorry, you said Kodiak. I just thought it was another. What? There's another bear?
What I'm gonna watch the dogs and see if their noses can bring them in. See if they keep going by scent after anything.
They do not stop their run, and they run up and they're looking all over this place. And Butch goes this way. Well, it's not Butch and Scraps. I gotta make new ones, but that's what they are
Yeah,
today.
maybe he borrowed their dogs for
Yeah.
a while. His dogs were resting up from a training session or something.
And they, both of them, they're looking around frantically all over the place, following a scent, and then both of them at 2 different spots where they're at have stopped, and they're barking, and then their claws are clawing at the ground.
Tunnels. Okay. They may have gone underground. I yell out to everybody. And I'm going to move over to where Scraps is pawing at and see if there's any indication that there's like a hatch or something there.
I'm gonna move around this tower tank to where the injured one went. See if I can determine what's going on there.
Very wet Anika is following after. You can hear her just like, God damn, Jesus. She's covered.
Got that thing where her shoes are wet now. And just...
Well, you guys did wade across anyway, but still. I just wrung them out. And it does, well, the dogs have pointed them out to you, but you do see it's at least where Scraps is, it's like a makeshift sort of hinged sort of wooden lid. Scraps has already flicked that open, and you can see a narrow tunnel going down into the dark. And let's see, what would I'm gonna end combat, by the way. Let's see, scout would be the roll. Yes, if you make a scout roll, Orson, I wanted to see if you notice something. Connie and Crystal catch up really quickly. Crystal goes to the other one.
I'm just sort of staring down into the darkness of the tunnel, like not able to see anything.
From where I'm at, I see them that they had found a hatch, so I'm looking in this area to see if I see one as well.
Okay. Just making rolling for Crystal and Connie really quick. Okay. Connie is with you, Orson, but Trace, you don't have any dogs over there, so I need you to make a scout roll. And Eobard is coming up close on your... Oh, I was going to give you a +1 from Eobard, but you don't need it.
Oh, not bad.
Scan roll, actually. Sorry, I didn't need... Not scan.
Yeah, I got you.
You do find hatch as well, but this one's more metallic and kind of at the base of that tower.
Okay.
But it is quite narrow as well. Connie, you can see her. She's putting her ear down towards the tunnel, and she's kind of petting the dogs to calm down. Orson, I can hear something. It's kind of what's this sound like? Shh, Scraps, shh. Can you hear it? It's like something mechanical, a pulsing, a heartbeat, or a... I can't think. It kind of reminds me of some of the stuff that Pontiac messes with. Maybe, like the loud wagons, but bigger.
A machine.
Slower.
Like a machine?
Yeah, that's it. I couldn't remember the word. But it's far away. Surprised I can hear it with all the barking.
I'm assuming I was able to open the hatch door that I found.
Yes. It wasn't locked, and it was hidden with. There's a lot of weeds and such there with it too.
Okay.
Heavily
I'd like to send
overgrown.
my drone in to scout it out.
Ooh. Okay. That's going to be a 1 EP, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot you're juiced up on a lot of EPs right now.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna
So
unhook my drone and toss it on in, and
I thought it would just dislodge from your back and you just mentally give it a command and its little
yeah,
fans
that,
come
that
out
could
and
work
then
too.
zzz.
I wear a jacket, so pull the jacket off, let it come out and go on off.
Okay, it can infiltrate a location and report back to you, scan the surroundings and transmit the information to you, then shoot with a laser weapon. I suspect it's infiltrate you're looking at.
Yeah, I was like, scan or infiltrate, which one would be better here? I mean, they both kind of sound the same thing.
Yeah, well, it's the same rule. Now, how does that work? Program level
Oh, well, I've got
3.
a scan roll and I have an infiltrate roll. I've got both of them.
Oh, sorry, their level is 3. Got it.
Yeah.
Scan, infiltrate. One is based on stamina, one is based on processor. Stability. Actually, it's going to.
Yeah.
Scan is 2, infiltrate is 1. So your scan, you're going to have you've got more dice with a scan by 1. So that's going to be. So you have to click the roll macro. I should probably make a little character sheet for your drone here at some point. But if you go to the
Yeah, I
roll,
thought we had done that for the laser and everything, but
we didn't, did we?
no.
Okay. On the agenda. Anyway, if you go down to the roll macro and put in scan. Hold on a minute. 4, 5. Actually, you've got one more dice for. Nope, telling you wrong. Keep telling you the wrong thing. If you put in 3 for your base and then 3 for your skill, so the yellow and 3 for yellow and 3 for green on the roll macro, and then that'll be its roll. Ooh, there you go. And we decided that it had infrared and low light, and
Yeah.
you can see some traces of infrared from movement, and it follows down inside. It goes straight down for a little while, approximately 3 meters, and then angles down for another 3. You can see some traces of footsteps. And then it moves and it gets wider down there and it moves. It's barely wide enough. Once it gets past the initial opening, it does widen up when it gets down to what you think is the bottom, at least so far as the bottom. Turn slightly to the right. And then there's a door. And that's as far as your drone can go. But the handle on the door is still glowing with a little bit of heat. And the footprints are fading with heat.
Okay. So I'm gonna relay this to the others that I see where they went, but if we don't hurry and follow, we could lose them because the heat, it's cooling.
And
Well,
all of you over, let's see, Orson, Connie, Zissou, and Crystal. I need you to make another scout roll, but this time with a +1. No from Connie. Orson's very perceptive now. Hold on, let's see if Crystal notices. Yes, she does. And Zissou is further back, so I'm not giving him a +1. Yeah, it didn't matter. All right. Now, stunt-wise, it's not really relevant for this. What you notice, I'm gonna move you all back a bit because I can't see the map. So one second. What you notice is in this building here, although the drawing itself doesn't give a lot of details, but there is a doorway. Let's see if I can draw it without it being too gigantic. And it probably will be, because it always is when I do a drawing. Oh, God. God damn. Whoops.
It's like Lord of the Rings all over again.
Yes, it is. Well, the map is, the scale is there. It's pointing to it. There's a door on that side, but on that side is a window facing you, and you saw a face, but it wasn't a ghoul. And with that extra stunt, I'm going to give you this one. You thought it might have been Nelma, one of the 4 that were missing from the Ark. And she ducked down.
Okay, I'm going to tell you when I just saw movement over there. It may have been one of the people we're looking for. How about we just block these tunnels up and then move on toward the building? Like, just sit big heavy rocks on them or something so they can't come back out behind us.
There's plenty of debris around that you can do that.
I bet, yeah, I know, and they're going to have more hatches like this they can come out of, but at least this way they can't come up behind us.
The Kodiaks begin working on that. Crystal and Zissou and Connie are right there doing it with you. Eobard gets started along with Annika over there with Trace. They look at you first, Trace, and Vinny, like, is this okay? You're not really their bosses. Although Vinny's the lieutenant when Orson isn't around, but they're just making sure you're not going to hurt them before they do it.
Oh, quickly.
And they get on it.
Quickly, what?
Yeah.
What do you need?
I think that's what he was telling the other Kodiaks.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Because I maintain my distance and creep around the corner.
All right. Once we get those closed up, let's move on. Keep our eyes open for anything else that looks like any of these hatches in the ground, but try to close in on that building where we saw the face pop up.
Okay. It takes them about 5-10 minutes tops. And they've got everything covered up pretty solidly. You got an extra big piece on one of the tunnels up there that Scraps was on. And Connie's like, they ain't getting out of that.
I will be right back, guys.
Okay. So, Trace and Vinny, you heard. Orson thinks he saw someone, and maybe one of the ones you're looking for. And you know where he's at.
Okay. Well, since they're closing up the hole, obviously, I've pulled my drone out. And gonna move towards where Orson and the others are.
As you come up that way, Trace, the door you see in the side of the building, if my left pointer would work, and that's just so large, so it doesn't pinpoint on anything. Well, I don't know why my foundry oh, because I'm on a drawing tool. God, I never remember to put things back. Right there. Though that's not very precise, but you can notice that although everything is heavily overgrown, in fact, walking on this island is not an easy task. You're having to kind of step over debris or weeds or other foliage. Sometimes you're having to move things out of your way, so it's a little bit slow movement. Open running is
Getting
not that
stuck
easy.
in the gears of my legs.
That
Pulling
too.
it out.
But you can see that this door has had its overgrowth cleared recently. And it looks like it has been opened because you can see, and opens outward, so you can see that the overgrowth in the area has been cut away. Also, now that you guys are a little bit more aware of your surroundings, up in the top of the smoke tower, way up here, from your distance anyway, it is quite a ways up, but you can see like sticks, other debris. It almost looks like a nest is up there. A very, very large nest. But it doesn't seem to be occupied. There's a ladder up the side, but it's broken part way up. And the whole thing looks like it's not long for this world before it collapses, but nevertheless, there is still there. Eobard and Annika come up with you, Trace. And Annika and Eobard are sharing space right now. Vinny, do you stay back? You're by yourself back there right now.
Yeah, I was thinking he would have been slowly following the two Kodiaks.
Okay.
I'm observing. Move myself.
All right. Whilst you're away, Lack, at least I don't know if you heard it or not, but Trace.
I heard about the nest in the top of the smoke tower.
Okay. Other than that, what you missed was, in general, on the whole island, movement is not easy because there's debris and it's overgrown. There's sometimes you have to move things out of the way. Sometimes you have to climb over. I mean, for you, as you were barreling towards them, you were kind of leaping over things anyway as you were running. But what Trace noticed, and you do shortly after that because you're right up close, is that the overgrowth on the door, which is to the right of the building as you're looking at it, has been recently removed. And the door opens outward. You can tell that because the overgrowth outside the door has also been moved. And then you see Trace and the Kodiaks, followed by Vinny, are coming up around that way. You don't see a face at all that pops up anymore. So what are your actions, all of you?
Well, we've got an open door, well, a uncovered door, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to keep moving toward that.
No, I'm gonna do the same. Are the windows? Are they? I would assume they're kind of like dirty.
Very, very dirty.
Maybe with a spot rubbed out on them or something.
Yeah, I mean they're not completely dirty in every spot, but they're dirty, and there's like weeds and stuff over lots of it. But, well, I don't know. From your vantage point, you can't really see what Orson did, but
Oh, okay.
it was rubbed out a little bit where he saw the face.
Well, I'm gonna keep approaching the building and that uncovered door.
All right.
Was Aniko? I can't remember. She was with us when we first encountered those giant birds.
Yes, she
Yeah,
was.
she was with us on the
Well,
first trip, yeah.
okay, okay. And I'm gonna kind of look over my shoulder and look up, then look up at the nest again. You think that's the same kind of birds?
It looks like they're kind of nests. Some of the Kodiaks had climbed up to their nests at the first time you encountered them. I can't remember if it was Annika or not. Probably what I think she had been injured at the time.
I remember somebody found a chair, folding chair. Thought it was cool.
Oh, that was Connie who'd climbed up there, but because Annika was actually, she was wounded. I think her arm was in a sling at the time, if I remember right. But she said, yeah, that does look like a trash hawk nest. But where's the trash hawk? That nest is rather large. Connie overhears. She's looking up at it. I'll bet money that's a trash hawk. I'll bet bullets, that's what she'd say. I'll bet bullets that's a trash hawk. But it's quite a big one if it is. She looks around. So who's going up to the door?
I am.
And I'll be right there next to him.
Okay.
While grumbling about vines and stuff stuck in my gears and pulling it out of my legs.
Alright.
Are the other Kodiaks, are we all regrouped back together now, basically?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't bring Annika and Eobard up, so it's too, the scale here is just too messed up to be
Right.
very
That's what I was
accurate.
trying to get, like a visual in my mind.
Yeah. I would assume that you're all together unless you've directed them to spread out, but they're all looking towards this door with Orson right up front. And suddenly, a loud crack of a shot rings out. It doesn't hit you, Orson, but you can. It's hit near the door frame from the inside. And you hear a woman's voice. That's far enough.
Okay, I'm gonna try to. If I'm out in the open, I'm gonna try to find some cover to get behind. Ideally, I'd like to move up. Like pile up next to the wall, next to the door, if I have room enough to do that in.
You do, although you're stepping into some overgrowth to do so. But yes, you can.
Okay. Yeah, but I want to get a solid wall between me and whatever gun just went off. What type of building is this? Is it like a wooden building, concrete building?
It's corrugated metal.
Okay.
Although rusty. But not rusted through, anyway. Although parts of it look worse than others.
I'm gonna get up next to the door and just be like, "Hey, we didn't come here looking for trouble."
This is our claim. Who are you?
We're the Kodiaks from the runway.
Orson?
Yes, it's Orson. How many other giant bears do you know?
Oh. And you hear and say, Lambda, Grit, open the door. And you hear a bunch of stuff being moved. They must have had it barricaded. And opening it, I'll drag these tokens out. You see this odd-looking character. And he's kind of, he's quite a shy guy, but he's opens the door and he just looks up, mouth open wide at you. And next to him is this woman.
We recognize them from the runway?
Yes, that's so on the left is Grit and then Lambda. And then behind them you see Nelma. Do you know that Lambda is a gearhead? Nelma is an enforcer, and Grit is a grunt. Grit the grunt.
And these guys are all neutrals at the runway?
They're part of Maximon's team.
Okay.
There's supposed to be a fourth, but named Vorhan, who's a stalker.
Yeah.
You don't see him at the moment.
I kind of have an idea about that. All right. Well, you assholes have led us on a merry chase.
What are you talking about?
You went and disappeared and went out exploring on your own without anybody knowing where you were.
And Grit, he looks. Well, Maximon told us to, and then Nelma just hits him. Shut up.
No. Keep talking.
Nelma looks at him and says,
Maximon told you what?
Nelma turns to him. Grit, if you say anything, Maximon will skin you.
Nelma, if you keep trying to countermand my orders, I'll skin you.
She kind of backs down a little bit.
Yeah. Need me to make a dominate on her or anything?
Yeah, let's do that because she's quite forceful here. Let's look at the. Where are we at here? No, wrong spot. is it? Oh. I'm trying to find that spot. It's an animal skill. What's it the same of? All right.
Does it have a manipulate?
Yeah, it's the same as manipulate. Okay.
It's dominate is for the
animals.
For the yeah.
Oh, domination has its own bonuses. Let's see. You have more people on your side. Yep. So that's +1. Yeah, okay, it equals out, so it's just a straight roll. Just from the negatives.
I've got some skill at domination.
Figured you would.
I know to make sure she has a safe word and everything.
Aardvark.
I'm going to go ahead and push. Oh, no, I wrote a biohazard, so I can't push that. Okay.
You can. It just means that if you fail, you suffer damage to instinct.
I'm just not seeing the option to actually push.
Oh, it's up on your character sheet.
It's on your character sheet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just tracks your most recent roll.
Yeah.
I'll push it.
Wow.
Oh, no.
That's 2 of you now. So first McKellen and now you.
I'm down to 1. I haven't hit 0.
No, I know. So is McKellen on his same. Well, instinct and empathy are similar, but she's like, "You're not the boss of us."
Then you'll step forward.
There's a little bit of recoiling from you, although not so much from Grit. Vinny, this is Nelma.
Yeah, I kind of back off. I'm about to bite somebody in the head. Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather not bring back 2 instead of 4.
Yes. Yeah, you have. So of the 4 words for trauma from that is lack of confidence, distrust, disappointment, and sadness. I think it's disappointment in yourself.
Yeah.
I'm a bear. Why? What the hell? Is this not scary?
I'll wander off and just go find a rock to sit on, just sitting by myself.
Okay. Benny, you step forward.
So I'm gonna start with using Mind Terror.
Oh God, here we go. Like this. Start with, what is this concoction about to entail?
Torment your victim with visions that inflict confusion or doubt, or choice, equal to the number of MP spent. I'm just gonna do 1. Let me roll mutation down. That. Oh, oops. Can I never remember this? I just roll a d6 to see if it.
Yeah, 1 mutation point, then you roll d6.
I guess I should put a number in. Okay, so normal.
Means it's successful.
She just starts getting these like flashes of images in her head of Orson like literally skinning her. And I'm gonna cause her doubt.
Okay.
And he says, "Listen, we're all friends here. Whatever Maximon told you to do, we're not going to go back and rat you out, right? We're here to help. We're here to rescue you if need be. You are surrounded by zone ghouls if you weren't even aware. What is it that Maximon... Oh, good.
The place is crawling with ghouls.
Well, are you trapped here? Did they lock you in? Are you... How have you been dealing with them?
We barricaded ourselves. God damn it. God damn it. On my ass is grass.
Just tell us what Maximon sent you here for.
Maximon sent us here on rumors that there's pure water source here. Tired of you guys getting all the credit. The Kodiaks. What we didn't know is that this place was crawling with ghouls, and we've narrowly escaped.
Maximon sent us here to eradicate the ghouls, so he knew perfectly well what he was getting you into. He was willing to sacrifice you just for his own ego and pride.
Grit looks at Nalma. What? I thought Maximon... He said we were his top... He trusted us. And Lambda's like...
You...
Mm-hmm. She's leaning against a wall. She's got scrap attached all over her. She's looking at something and just shaking her head.
You have a reputation for being tough. That's why Maximon sent you. But he obviously doesn't care what happens to you. Not like we do. We came here to find you. We were worried when Maximon told us that he had sent you here to deal with this ghoul problem.
Well, we have... That would be... That is my goal. I want to run these ghouls off of here for good. I think this place is a place from the ancients that treats water, that cleans it. And if you can hear the machinery, I think it's still doing that. But there's the ghoul situation. But I have another problem. I really need your help. Shortly after we arrived here, besides being attacked by ghouls, a trash hawk came and carried Vorhan up to its nest. I think he's dead. But I want to take his belongings back. He has people who care about him in the Ark. Please, could one of you go up there and get his remains? Or his belongings, anyway.
Well, that tower looks pretty shaky, honestly. I wonder if we could just knock the tower down and get rid of the whole Trash Hawk situation completely.
Yeah, you'll bring dozens of ghouls crawling out of their holes if you do that. They're so... I don't know what they are. I've always heard stories about ghouls. They have powers I don't even know. They can disappear at will. They're so sneaky too, they'll come up on you. We'd be swarmed.
That might be true. I do think I have an idea of how they're being so. And never mind, I'm off by myself, sulking. I'm not even there.
Well, we're in a small kind of room, aren't we? You
Yeah.
can probably hear everything.
Yeah. But we know how they're being so sneaky, which is that they have tunnels under the ground that they're using to get around.
Well, it gets worse, and she steps over to the back of the room, and there's like a corridor that goes off the back room, and you can see a bunch of, looks like a bunch of like boxes and stuff that's kind of spilling out of that corridor. This door back here leads down, or leads back into this building further, but there's stairs goes down, down, and down. We started going that way, and we barely managed to get back here and shut this door. We've been here for a day. We're running out of food. In fact, she looks over to Grit. It's just a day left. Do you have any water?
We've brought food. Don't worry. We'll be able to get you fed and supplied. It's I don't think we brought all that with us across the river, did we? I don't know.
I don't know what you did. I don't know.
Well, I know we had some in the vehicles, but I don't think we ever made a point of like loading it back into our packs and stuff before we came over here.
I think the only thing that's on you would be what was on your character sheet. The stuff that's part of the loot is in the cars.
Yeah, I think but we've got supplies. We'll just have to get back across the river to get to them.
That's a bonus.
We'll happily share with you. Brought plenty. It seems we will need to work together to eradicate this ghoul problem and retrieve friends' belongings.
I honestly don't know if it's worth risking alerting that trash hawk and more ghouls just to collect the belongings. I mean, if this place can get us clean water, we'll be coming back. We just need to come back in force to actually take it from the ghouls.
You don't think we can handle them right now? We have our combined powers here with these fine people. Let us claim glory from Maximon, who merely sends out his own sacrificial lambs. I return later. We can have it all right now.
Well, I'm going to look around at everyone. It's like, I don't want to walk you off into a fight, but that's a good point. We could go ahead and get it ourselves. Do we think we're up for that fight? I mean, we saw how many just popped out on us just then.
We were watching. There's dozens and dozens down below. At least as far as we saw. I don't know how many are down there. And it's a maze. I mean, it's their territory. They know it. We don't. But then again, collapsing that tower to bring them all up does bring them out in the open.
What do you think?
Okay, let's pull just the PCs together here for a minute and go off by ourselves and make a plan. Get the people I trust around me. All right, guys. I feel like trying to take on this whole place right now is too much. Who feels the same way?
I feel the same. The odds are not in our favor.
Perhaps we can convince these three to keep this whole thing quiet from Maximon and tell him that we found nothing and we just found them at an empty facility. That way we can come back here with the Zodiacs, claim it for ourselves as a gift and reward for the Ark.
I think this is probably going to be a battle for the whole arc if we're going to try to seize this. It's far away from our territory right now. It would be like claiming a remote outpost that we would then have to staff and supply. I think it's better for us to report back with this as being mutually found by his people and ours, and it's also a black eye for Maximon that he tried to do this secretly without letting people know that he was sending them out and exposing them to danger, forcing a rescue mission to be done. It all pays off. We still get the privilege of rescuing his people and getting to report back with this. And then when the time comes, we can actually make a plan and come back here to try to figure out how to deal with these ghouls.
And perhaps you should try to convince these three to join the Kodiaks before we head back. We can sway them to leave Maximon's gang, even.
Well, we'll have the whole trip back to try to do that. They seem pretty loyal, but...
that was before
he
sent them off to get killed by a bunch of ghouls for his own gain.
I say, work on them the whole trip back. You ride in the car with them, see what you can accomplish.
I think it'll take both of us.
Yeah. Well, I've got to drive anyway, so they just ride in my car.
So are the great benefits that come with being a Kodiak to them.
Benefit 1, you have a bear.
I do believe as a goodwill gesture, we should try to retrieve, what was the fourth one's name?
Forehand.
Forehand's gear. Maybe Connie and I can get our way up there. Hope the trap. Well,
Vinny, if you are willing to climb up there, I'm okay with that. If you do not think there's enough risk for that you personally would do it, then let's get it done. I don't want to climb up there because I'm too big. I might cause the whole thing to fall over.
Trace, can we send your drone up there to get a sight on it first, and maybe
That is a great idea.
if we can even
Absolutely.
spot the Crash Hawk?
Yes.
I just looked. Vinny's ability to climb that is actually pretty high. Your agility is amazing.
Agile.
And it's a move skill.
Yeah, I realized my new coward talent is also a move roll, so I'm gonna have to start bumping that up.
Oh, right. So you're a coward, but eventually will have the even better ability to just be doing acrobatics. All right. Anyway, carry on.
He does somersaults and handstand cartwheels just to get behind Orson from a distance.
Finishing off with a round off, and then you throw your hands up like you're in the Olympics at the end.
Real quick, what does doubt do mechanically again? I can't find it.
Doubt is empathy. So all the skills that rely upon empathy have that much less dice. Because it's just like Alien. You have the attribute and the skill to go together for your dice pool.
Okay.
But as far as role playing goes, it's lack of confidence, distrust, disappointment, and sadness. Not necessarily all of those. You pick which one is relevant.
I didn't realize that's what you were reading earlier when you had said that.
Yeah, it's on the screen journal. It's under number 11 on trauma. It shows all the different traumas and what they mean. Without that screen journal, I'd really be at a loss keeping track of all the rules in this game.
Oh, I found it. Okay. So yeah, let's let Trace do their thing to drone up there.
All right, Trace, that's an EP point.
Alright, down to 7.
And let's see, scan, I think, is the appropriate roll, which is. We just rolled it, and I can't remember what it was. Was it?
A 3 and a 3.
Oh, 3 and 3, yes, of course.
Oh!
Push it.
You can still push.
Yeah,
For
I'm
your,
gonna push it. Oop.
there you go.
Close.
So its first pass, as it went up there, it seemed to be just a lot of sticks, really. But as it goes up, you can see that the ladder, although rusty, does seem to be attached, and you didn't detect any sort of structural weakness from it. But at the top, it's a tangle of branches and a bit of metal scrap. And you see 2 bodies up there. It's kind of hard to tell who they are, but one is a little bit fresher than the other. Let's see. But the other body, although it's becoming skeletal, it's very sunken. You can see exposed bone, but it's wearing coveralls with some strange markings on them you've never seen before. Definitely not someone from the Ark. They're hacked up. I need you to make, let's see, what's the equivalent skill? An analyze roll. Your observation. So it's you, not the drone, so your own roll.
Which roll? I looked at something else and
Analyze.
yeah, I looked at scan and then I was like, wait, what?
You can't quite tell. Maybe the video's a little bit grainy.
I'm gonna push.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus, you instructed that drone to go in for.
Analyzing.
Or you do it analyzing.
Yeah, exactly.
Data insufficient.
Try again.
If a robot can be startled, you are. You've had a flashback to decades ago, or in memories from when you were at Mechatron 7. But this skeleton, you realize, well, you're very confident anyway, just because of the bone shape and all of it, that this is not a mutant human. And my God, with 2 extras on there, I'm going to give you a little bit more information. And you see something like a rectangular shape. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what you would know. Because I don't like. I try not to describe things with. If I told you what it looked like, there would be something in the modern world you would know. It's in a pocket. It kind of is stuffed in the pocket, but it's a flat rectangular shape. Approximately, I don't know.
It's a cell phone.
15 centimeters by 10 centimeters. That's bigger than a cell phone.
It's one of those giant Hershey bars.
That's it.
Radio?
No, can't tell. It's in a pocket.
I see.
It's a giant Hershey bar. It's totally worth the trip up there.
So of course, as the drone's flying around and I'm seeing all this, I'm telling everybody else what I'm seeing as to up there.
I think I missed a part. Did we see their fourth person up there, or was it just this other person that was up there?
You did see the fourth person. A recent corpse, roughly looking like forehand, even though he's hacked up and cut up quite a bit.
Did we see any sign of the scrap hawk?
No.
Let's say a recent dead body up there means it's around.
It's definitely its nest.
I say we go back to the group. And I would ask them, when was the last time you saw the scrap hawk?
That was yesterday.
We know it's not here right now. I mean, if we're gonna do this, we should do it. I mean, Connie can go right up that thing, as far as I know. Let me look up my character and see what her abilities are. She's got the insect legs, and
she doesn't even need the ladder.
I think that's the whole deal with being insectoid, is that you can just climb right up walls.
It's one of them.
Am I able to hold onto her while she climbs up and she carries me up there safely?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, game mechanic wise, you get a +1 because of the ladder as a gear bonus.
Okay.
So you've already got 5 dice and you'd have 6. And I'd give you another +1 just from help from her.
From help, okay. See, I'll say, Honey, we're going up there. I need you to help come in below me to make sure I don't fall.
Yeah, her insectoid is climb a completely vertical surface for a few minutes at the cost of 1 mutation point.
All right, so she looks at you. Okay, you take the ladder, I'll take the wall. And she's flexing her weird feet.
What's that? Symbol.
Part of that's the gear bonus.
That's gear.
And so that means one of the rungs of the ladder. Snap. Did you? You didn't give yourself a +1. From her.
From her help. Yeah. Let's see.
That's one green die.
Skill, right? Yeah. That's
right.
Wow. Okay. Well, first I have to push, obviously. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Oh no!
Have to roll 1 more dice, I think. Still, also from the help.
Yes, you do. One more.
Oh my god!
green.
One success,
Oh,
please.
no,
Jesus Christ! Connie catches me as I plummet to the earth. Her fucking help dice saves me.
I love it.
Oh man, it's such a movie scene where you're like falling and she just comes scampering along the wall, just grabs you by your arm and like swings you around.
Like an insect. Exactly.
Jesus. Everybody, my stats are at 1, 1, 1, and 3.
Oh my god.
Just like
That's why I don't go out here, Orson.
I'm sorry, I can't. I gotta compose myself before I can continue. I love how the dice rolls come out in this game. It's so cool. Okay. You do indeed get to the top.
I
And
didn't even think about the fact I could help.
too late now.
I know. I just remembered I got the wire system.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Oh yeah, I've got these cables I can use to climb things.
You haven't been able to use that yet. All right. You get to the top.
I
Um,
There was one of my other games I played. There was this whole thing where this guy had been having a nightmare trying to climb something later on, and then later on I made this roll that allowed me to bring along a useful piece of, got a lucky roll that allowed me to bring along a useful piece of gear. And so I just pull out this grappling hook and rope later on. He's like, "Why didn't you have that earlier?" Sorry, I forgot I had it. Yeah, you were fumbling with climbing up this wall.
I used it to help McKellen climb up the sky wheel.
okay.
But
Oh yeah, that was a funny scene.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. All right, let's see.
So I immediately I tell Kanye to keep an eye out for the hawk, and I immediately start rifling through the pockets of first the the ARC guy. Name I keep forgetting.
Vorhan. And
Vorhan.
Vorhan.
Oh, Vorhan. Okay.
Yeah. And yes, you find a scrap rifle that's not in his pockets, obviously. It's next to him. You find 3 bullets. So let me open up. Yeah, okay. You find 3 rations of grub and 2 of water. And you find a scrap knife as well.
Okay, so scrap, rifle, and knife.
3 bullets, 3 grub, 2 waters.
Right, then I'll move to the non-mutated guy.
All right. On it, the only thing you find is you see this rectangular bulge in it's like a leg pocket, it's like work coveralls. But on the coveralls itself, so you didn't go. You find over the left breast is a logo. It's like a black and blue sort of star shape with a black dot in the middle. And it has these letters below it. You don't know how to read. There's 5 letters underneath it. Oh my god. Just saw what you posted.
Assuming the coveralls are like really torn up from him being eaten by the bird, and so I'll just take the scrap knife and like cut out the logo and words, cut off like a patch.
Okay, easily done. And then the pocket, you pull out this rectangular object and let's see. Yeah, you would have heard McKellen talk about it. You know this is known as a book. and it has the same logo on it. And I actually have a handout for it, but I'm actually kind of thinking maybe I shouldn't show you because you don't know how to read.
Yeah, I would think that I have to get it to McKellen in private, and then I'll pocket, like I'll put that in my robe. But I'm just wearing like that kind of a traveling cloak, and I'll toss Connie a bullet and say, "This was all we found up here," and I show her the scrap rifle. And wink at her.
She nods. Puts the bullet
Then as
in
I
her
like,
pocket.
go ahead.
She puts the bullet in her
Oh,
pocket.
yeah.
And she says, maybe I should carry this down. Considering how accident prone you are.
Yes.
That's when all of a
Real-
sudden this grappling hook cable gets launched from the ground up there.
Come flying up. Trace comes up on this like elaborate rope system, like, "Hi."
My drone's still doing circles around the platform, watching y'all.
Having troubles?
I don't have a two-way radio yet.
The guy in coveralls have food or water on him?
No.
Or any... Okay, so interesting. All right. I climb onto the ladder, and right before I start moving down, I look at Connie. I go, and I look kind of like annoyed to be saying this, but I go, "Thanks." Say very genuinely, and then I start climbing down.
All right. Now you've got even less dice to climb down.
I was actually thinking that it would really be a good idea for her to shoot those cables up there for him to help come down with.
How does your rope system work exactly? Is it one of your body parts?
Yeah, it's in my undercarriage. So it's attached to my legs.
Yeah, I kind of picture it working like the thing in Attack on Titan.
Yeah. It says I can shoot out and attach one or more wires to lift something heavy, repel myself or another robot, and more. I can use it as a grappling hook.
They're 10 meters long.
Or to escape conflict.
10 meters. Is this thing higher than 10 meters?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
40.
Yeah.
Say it's really tall, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But she could climb up there and then hang on to you.
Oh, wait, look.
You would have...
your drone has a voice receiver. You can hear if I talk to you, can't you?
Yes,
Yes.
it does.
But I can't talk back.
So I yell up to it. I see that it's kind of close by, and I wave at you to bring it closer. And like, I can't safely get down from here. Can you please come up and get me?
It took a lot to admit that.
Yeah. Don't tell anyone about this either.
I just
Especially
shake
that
my
person.
head.
Sorry.
I shake my head and mumble to myself, first McClellan and now Vinny. I'm going to need a backpack to carry these people. So I'm going to start climbing up the tower.
All right. You're going to need to make a move roll. +1 on your skill. What is with you guys?
Oh my! This
It has
tower
been-
is like
This has been a bad day for
falling
dice
down.
rolls.
Sure has, except if I roll them, I'm doing well. Mostly when I'm rolling for the Kodiaks.
I'm going to risk it. What would I take damage on if I...
Agility.
Yeah, it's
I
it's a
don't have
gel.
that though.
Well, it's stability, but you actually roll for damage to see what part of your body.
Oh, that's.
But before you
Oh,
do
interesting.
that, if you're going to use your wires, you could you could have used those to get somewhere without needing to make a move roll. You're going to end up
Oh, is
burning up a
that
lot
how
of.
those work?
Well, yeah, you can. That's one of the functions.
Yeah,
So
What's the
I
limit
would
on
burn
it?
up a lot of energy points getting up and coming down.
Oh, it costs 1 energy to go 10 meters, basically. Then, huh?
well, it says what the length of them are, but oh
What
yes,
we did with at Sky Wheel is we only used one EP as McClellan was just holding on to it and I went down.
yeah, that's a different story than this. Okay, so I think it's going to be a push on
Yeah.
this, or you're going to spend a lot of energy points. Okay, so she tried.
Oh, my stability automatically went down by 2.
Oh, it didn't make you
Yep.
roll?
Nope.
Probably because it's not set up for Mechatron.
Because move is a stability.
Do
So
I'll put a macro for you there. Robot DMG LOC for damage
okay.
location. We can change it manually.
So put my stability back up to 4.
Yeah, for now. Of course, you might roll stability as a location for your damage, but hopefully it's not processor. Ah, he rolled stability. Yeah, stability back down to 2.
Okay.
All right.
I'm now laid out on the ground just looking up. Sorry.
I like watch you just not coming up. And all right, Connie, I guess we're on our own again.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
this is
You've
not.
got.
Come on, dude.
You've got.
Two.
What's it
Wait,
called?
wait. Okay,
You still have
so
a gear
I.
bonus, a +1 from the ladder, and you have a +1 from Connie.
Well, here's the thing.
What?
I say thank you to Connie, and I'm standing by the ladder, and I'm so Connie. I'm really sorry about this. And my mouth begins to open as I get in close to her.
Oh no.
And my tendrils, my mandibles wrap around her face, and I'm going to steal 3 agility from her.
Oh my God.
Push him off the tower.
So I need to roll 3 base dice because I'm spending 3 mutant points. I kind of wanted that to happen, honestly.
I know you
Damn.
do. You always want that to happen.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
You haven't rolled that one before.
Okay.
But you were
Okay.
successful, so you stole 3 agility from Connie. So
Yeah,
she's
back to full max.
although she still has quite a bit, but she was like, What the hell? What do you do? Oh my God! She just spitting afterwards.
Yeah, it's just the process of like coming out of it is not pleasant for either of us, probably. And well, I feel like renewed though, and like I have all this energy, and she's throwing up like in the nest.
She is actually.
With him modeled so much on Worm Tongue, I just picture you walking up to her. It's like, who knows what you have spoken to the darkness alone in the bitter watches of the night. When all your life seems to shrink.
And then the mouth comes open. Did you spend your mutation points, by the way, Vinny?
Did I'm down to 5 again.
Okay,
And
then.
so I'll walk over to her while she's vomiting on her hands and knees, and I'm not gonna touch her, but I go, you and I are closer now. I'm sorry. And then I'll drop another bullet on the ground next to her.
She's just
So when you're ready, I'm going to need your help getting down.
Really? After that? She's 14. She's a cocky 14-year-old.
She's just like, are you fucking kidding me?
All right.
Okay. I should be okay. Let's see. Oh, okay.
The ladder saved you.
God.
Connie needs to subtract another mutation point. And on the way down, she's like, this bullet was just the start of what you owe me. Seriously, that is disgusting. She's whispering in your ear as you go down. I heard tell of this building. I just didn't see it yet. I didn't want to see it firsthand.
But you used maliciously or not, and I promise to make it up to you.
Hey, so did everything go all right?
Connie looks extra fatigued from the ordeal, which is surprising because she normally climbs really fast without any effort. But she's like, yeah, we found this, a scrap rifle. And now
I hand it off to somebody. He's like, you don't look so good.
She spits.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit more tiring this time.
Oh, here, climb on my back. I'll carry you across the river.
Okay.
We'll take the scrap rifle to Nelma. Say, I found this on who I believe was Vorhan. I am sorry. It was all he had.
Oh.
Just remember, this is Magdamon's fault that Vorhan is dead. He should never have sent just the four of you out here. I'm sure he'll deny knowing anything about the ghouls, but he knew exactly what he was doing in his selfishness. He never thinks of the Ark. I can't believe you even follow him.
He has kept us safe, Vinny.
Hey, what, gloating about how strong and successful he is? We're the ones who built the farm. We're the ones who built the defenses. He never proposed any of these things for the Ark. He just only monopolizes it for his own power. You should consider joining us. We actually take care of our people. We would have never sent you out here alone.
You hear Connie mutter, yeah, good care. Very quietly.
What bothers me more that he wasn't owning up to you guys being out here in the first place and acted like he didn't even send you here.
He would have said
Like
you were
a
deserter.
We had to volunteer to come rescue you. It's not like he was volunteering to come back out here after you. Anyway, let's pack up and get out of here before Scrapbox and ghouls come back.
Okay.
I agree, sir.
What did you do, Unicorn? What did you do with the scrap of coveralls that you tore off? And
Probably just like stuck it in the book even, and I have that hidden in a small pouch on me.
Okay. I want to, because he's been waiting patiently, I want to jump back to the Ark. Because we're in our final about 40 minutes. Rem has been waiting there so patiently for this, although I hope you've been entertained.
Yeah, it's all good.
But I wanted to jump back to you for a bit anyway.
Okay. That evening, I think, if possible, I want to speak to the Elder.
Well, you know that the elder mostly is, if he's awake at all, he's quite incoherent.
Yeah.
So you don't have a whole lot of hope that you're going to get much from him, but
Yeah, I'm not actually seeking advice necessarily. I just want to get rid of this doubt. That's why.
oh, I see. Okay. So there is a room that's kind of within the heart of where the chroniclers dwell. So it's kind of, they kind of keep him protected. So it's, you have to go through a few rooms before you get into it. So there's like layers of defense, as it were, to keep him safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can go in there, and he's sleeping away. But it is the heart of what a chronicler is all about, and so it feels like a sanctuary, almost like a, you know, almost like a, being in a cathedral of sorts. Although you don't worship the elder by any means, but
Yeah, so I make sure like his curtains are drawn in, so I make sure he's tucked in nice and securely, and whatnot. And I sit behind sit at his bedside. Elder, I hope you have been doing well today. I know Victor would normally have performed many of the duties today. I'm afraid I come to you with some doubts that I cannot share. Outside this room, really, for fear of pushing the Ark off the precipice which it now seems to be on. We have cultists of well, you know, Asgardian and his ways, pushing the Ark and against the teachings of the forefathers. I'm having to deal with that as well as the murder of poor Victor. And it seems that things are not as clear-cut as they once were. I think that amongst our number, there is someone scheming, using their powers of mind to strike right at the heart of our Ark. I am doing everything I can, of course, but I do yearn for the times when we would have you at full strength. It's not all doom and gloom, though. Oh, I'll take out the key card, the Eden security key card that we brought back with. When out in the zone, we found this, Elder. Eden. The stories that you used to tell us. It's true. I held faith this whole time, and now I'm seeing tangible evidence. Before it is too late, I will find this Eden, and I will make sure that you and the rest of the Ark brought there, so that you can see what you have put into motion bear fruit before the end.
and his eyes came open, and he looks over at you. Oops. And he, so I'll drag his token out, even though he's not there at this island. Although he doesn't really have, you've not noticed him have a whole lot of response to things, and normally this time of night he's just well out of it. But his eyes came open and he looks at you. He looks at the card. And his eyes get a little bit bigger. Not out of fear sort of look, but just of, not a sleepy looking, just like looking, trying to look clearer. And he mumbles something incoherently. It's just really, really guttural, and his mouth is hardly moving.
I would like to use telepathy to find out what he's thinking in this moment.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Well, you didn't need it. Doesn't matter what that is, unless it was a hash or a hazard. And the incoherency. Or even his brain is a bit incoherent, but you get 2 words. The origin.
The origin. Way to end where we began.
And he grips your wrist just slightly with as much strength as he can muster when you ask that. And his eyes close.
I pledge it to you. I will get us there. Sleep soundly, Elder. I'll kiss him on the forehead and head out.
And that is going to replenish your empathy really, really well. You haven't had any acknowledgement of any coherence from him for weeks, if not months. Especially recently. In the past several weeks, you haven't had anything. And this was the smallest sign, but a sign of life. And right as you're coming out, we haven't really discussed this, but I always imagine there's like a metallic sort of junk that's been stringed up, almost acting like a bell system. And you're hearing that bang, 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 bang. It's usually been set up in times in case there's been a raid, if you're being raided, or if there's danger approaching the Ark. They never actually ring it for assembly, and they wouldn't have an assembly at this time of night. It's a little bit.
Then I'm certainly rushing.
You're in the heart of, so you're inside of a few rooms, so it's a little bit faint, but it is loud enough for you to hear. And it's put on the outside of the building anyway. And as you're approaching towards the outside, you're seeing a lot of people in confusion. Some people are on their way to bed, bedding down. Some of the chroniclers, because you're in the chronicler area, were, had their nose in a book, and they're coming out of rooms like, what's going on? What is it? And you said you're making your way outside.
Yeah, to whatever the rally point would be, or whatever the best place to find out what's going on will be.
And before you get to that spot, you're hearing a very loud shout. And it's your worst fear. You hear, "There's been another one!"
Where? Who?
And there's just people around you just running towards that point. They look at you. I don't know what they're on about. I think someone else has been killed. And there's a big crowd of people. And up next to the edge of a building, actually, there's like a balcony up above. Do you know that balcony to be, from the ancients, it's called Smoking Lounge. Although you know what that might mean, but everyone else just thinks it's a name. There's a crowd up on this balcony, and they seem to be moving aggressively, is the word here. restraining somebody, and there's a crowd down at the bottom surrounding something. This is outside the building, mind you. And you're like,
Yeah, I make my way to the person being restrained. Let me through, chronicler. What's happened?
it's almost like member of the press. It's Chase. He's been beaten to death and pushed off the balcony. Well, they wouldn't know the word balcony. Pushed off the edge.
Do I know who Chase is?
Yeah, it's in the. He's in the
Okay,
list.
so he's in
he is.
warrior.
He's a non-gang, and you know him to be a telepath. A warrior.
And is anyone of note in this crowd?
Oh, there's too many of them. There's loads of. There's easily 20 people around here. None of the bosses at all, and even their, like, not Muba or Sixter, they're not there as well.
And who's the person getting restrained?
You can't see. They're up on the balcony edge.
I make my way straight there, up to the balcony.
So your note doesn't show up for me that you put on the list of members. If I click on it, I can see you've made one. I made you, because I made you as a commentator instead of an editor. I need to change the share link on this. Anyway, I'll do that, but all right, you make your way up to the balcony. And you see people there you go. You should be able to make comments now. So, or actually edit instead of just making a comment. You see people gathered around, and they're restraining a woman named Jara, a four-armed woman, also part of the non-gang. And she has a club in one of her arms. Well, did. There's a club on the ground beside. And she's quite violent and trying to get away. And then instantly she just stops.
Oh. I use telepathy. Find her initial thoughts.
Okay. It's just a single point, isn't it? Mutation point.
Yeah. We're okay.
All right. I'm just making a note. And her initial thoughts are, what happened? What's going on? She had confusion. Why are all these people around me? Where's Chase? And hearing her say that, you can recall that Chase was her boyfriend. And you hear people around muttering, What is this, like a death cult? What's going on? First Cole, and now Jara.
Jara, you need to calm down. I know you're probably very confused right now.
What? And the crowd is getting a little bit out of control. And you're, let's throw over the balcony now. Let's end this. And there's a few that are agreeing with that.
She needs to be questioned.
It's clear she did it, McKellen. Look.
She
Same
may have done
thing.
it. These things must be chronicled. Chase's memory must be respected, and we must know exactly what's happened.
We know what's happened. They've had a lover's spat. She's gone nuts. She's killed her boyfriend. I mean, while you're chronicling, someone else could die. What's going on here?
I intend to find out. Now, let us not do this in a mob. You two, bring her with me to the Kodiak Bay.
I want to have you make a roll. Let's see.
Play? I've got Inspire, but that's more for
Yeah, that's more of like. Let me see. Inspire is your chronicler skill, isn't it?
Yeah.
And when they stray from the right path, you can guide them back. No, I think that's very relevant. Inspire.
them?
Yeah, you also have a better skill in it too, actually. Now that I see it.
Yes.
There you
Don't
go.
mind inspiring.
You have stunt. No stunts. At least none that are listed on there.
Yeah, it's to do with how much I increase or decrease the person I'm inspiring.
Oh, right. Forgive it. I remember you used this in combat. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. Yes. Okay. And you have managed, well, with two successes there, you've managed to calm the mob. All right, McKellen. And right about then, you can hear coming up in the distance, you can hear the voice. Maximon. And you can just hear, what the actual hell? Come storming into that. And out to the balcony. Is it true? We have another one?
We do. Chase is dead.
He looks you right in the face. I don't know if I should regret my decision in extending you time or not. Either way, this does not bode well for the Ark. And he mutters the last bit. Most of the rest couldn't hear him. Take her to the brig. And he's got some of his people with him. In a separate room. Did you get anything from her, McKellen?
I sort of just nod and then give him a look to sort of impart. Yeah, well, what do you think?
Why don't you come with us?
I intend to.
And he tells the men to go, and he turns to the rest of the crowd. I want everyone to go back to your lodging. Secure your doors. Stay safe. And when you get down to the bottom, you can already see that Marla and her people are securing Chase, the body, and gathering that up. And some of her people have come up to the top to look for evidence.
Can I think of any kind of connection between Victor and Chase? Apart from the fact they both live in the Ark.
Nothing comes to mind to you at all.
Okay.
And that's the part that's really perplexing. It seems random.
Alright, I'll follow them to the brig.
Right. And you can see that his men throw him into a room, her into a room, sorry. And he, Maximum beckons you to come up the stairs.
We have to have the discussion all the way to the top.
We won't go to the top. He
Okay.
shakes his head. We'll go to the planning room.
I can do that.
It's only halfway up. Seriously, McKellen, you should work out a bit.
The brain is a muscle, Maximum.
All right. And he gets up to the room, and there's others in there, and he's like, out! All of you. Sixter is by his side, who starts to go out. He's like, not you, Sixter, stay here. But shut the door.
I also wanted telepathy on Sexter. Just now. So read surface thoughts. Because I noticed he's got the puppeteer on.
He does.
So let's see if anything interesting happens here.
You're burning through your
I am,
mutation points today. It's all right, though. It's great for story. Cool. All right. His surface thoughts are wanting to please Maximon, and also he doesn't like the fact that you're investigating, and he's decided he's going to run his own investigation secretly to try to get the info before you do.
Okay.
Door shut.
I was able to reach her just as whatever this mental effect was wore off. It was evident that there was a change in her mind. She was thrashing about violently, and then suddenly, as if she had no idea where she was. I read her thoughts in that moment, and that confirmed it.
Same as Cole. I'm beginning to, I think your theory, this only backs it up.
No, it's clearly not a targeted strike against the Chroniclers. I can't think of anything that would connect Chase to Victor.
What's the motive, though? Random? Random victims.
Chaos, I suppose. Which makes me think maybe this is something external. One thing that Victor mentioned when I spoke to him is that he spent the day securing the perimeter. I'm wondering if he spotted something out at the edge that got into his mind somehow. I wonder if Jara also was on perimeter duty.
Well, it's worth the investigation. I assume you're probably going to carry on with that.
Yes.
We've got a panic on our hands building,
We do.
and we need answers.
Before someone else dies. Well, you do what you can to contain the panic, and I'll do what I can to find out what's going on.
Right, I gotta go see Marlott. We're gonna deputize some of my men. We're gonna step up patrols. I think they used to call this martial law. You chroniclers tell me. All right,
I don't
thanks.
know if it's wise to start martial law immediately. Depending what the general populace thinks of this, we probably want whoever the perpetrator is not to know that we're onto them. But if they continue, it's going to be obvious that there's a pattern.
Yeah. I know all that, McKellen. Just gonna step up patrols.
Right. Right, now the crowd's gone, I'm going to go speak to Jara.
All right. And he leaves the room as well.
Yeah, and then I go to the brig and go to Jara's cell.
All right. We got 15 minutes left. All right.
Not thinking of a cliffhanger.
Down the stairs, a little bit out of breath. Not as much as before. And you see guards are just taunting her through the. They've got like they've put like a. They've created this themselves. This wasn't part of the airport, but like a window with bars on it. And they're just jeering at her and taunting her.
Alright, that's enough of that. I need to speak with her.
Who put you in charge?
Maximon.
And you see what the other guard that you talked to the other day. You see him give the guy a look. And the guy steps back. All right.
Thank you. And I'll head on into the cell, or at least to the bars.
You want to go in?
Yes, I do.
Oh, all right. It's your funeral. She decides to hit you with all four of them arms.
Well, I expect you're competent guards. I'm sure you can rush on in.
And he unlocks it, opens. There you go.
Thank you. I head on into the cell. And I speak with her in sort of quiet tones, if assuming the guards are still sort of hanging around by the door.
They're close, but they're not jeering anymore.
Oh, okay.
But they are right near it.
Jara, I expect you're in quite the state of shock.
How's Chase?
Chase, I am afraid he's passed.
And she bursts into tears. Two of her hands go to her face. And the other two, the lower two, are just banging against the floor against her, next to her.
So sorry, I know that the two of you are together.
He was the best. we were planning on converting. We found this spot in another part of the building. We were going to make our own place. I had these ideas about how we could make it quite cozy, but now he's gone.
Nod understandingly and pat his shoulder.
I don't understand what happened.
I know a little bit more than you at this point. Something or someone took control of your mind.
What? Someone forced me to do that?
You recall the murder of Victor yesterday, I am sure.
Yeah. I mean, who
Same
doesn't?
thing. The same thing happened to Cole.
So Cole didn't do it.
Cole didn't do it. Whoever controlled you did it.
Who would want to kill Chase and Victor?
I don't know. I can't think why the two could possibly be connected. I need you to tell me what you've been doing today. And is there anything out of place?
Well,
Anything striking as odd in the hours before things went hazy?
no, I mean, I was looking for scrap and stuff that we could use to build our.
Gathering from where? The outskirts?
Yeah, I went out there. I went out on the western gate.
Western Gate, right.
Well, I didn't leave the island.
Did you see anything out there?
Sorry?
Did you see anything odd out there?
No.
Were you alone?
Yes, I was. I wanted to surprise Chase. I found some really good stuff. It was like a picture of it looked good on the wall. But he'll never see it now. And she starts crying again.
No, that I'm going to get to the bottom of this. You take some time with your thoughts. You'll not be in this cell longer than you need to be, but just take some time to process. And then I'm gonna head out and go to speak to Cole.
Okay. Which he's not far. He's just down the corridor.
Cole, I have mixed news. Maximum now believes that it was not you that killed Victor.
And you just see this relief come over his face. Like, you've convinced him?
He's allowed me to investigate, and I'm afraid to say there has been another very similar murder.
Who died?
A man by the name of Chase.
I know him. Who killed him?
In this instance, it was Jara, his partner. Now, she's just told me that she spent the day scavenging by the Western Gate. You mentioned to me that you were on perimeter patrol duty. Did you spend much time near the Western Gate?
That's the way I went out towards when I went out across, looking on the rest of the island. Why?
That's the only connection I can think of right now. Was there anything odd that you saw out there? Was anyone there? Were you alone?
Yeah, I was by myself. I didn't see anything strange.
Right. Well, hang tight. I'm going to get to the bottom of it, but it's going to take a little time.
Thank you.
think I'll leave him. And I'm going to head to the Western Gate. And also, I've got these like ancient pills that have the symbol of someone clutching their head. I'm hoping it's mind control resistance. Toy, I'll take one of these capsules.
Okay. All right.
I don't know what they actually are. I assume aspirin.
Yes, they are. But you don't know that. Magic pills. Okay. Okay. You take those. They're very bitter. And whether would you have known that people tend to just swallow them, or did you chew them? I'm thinking you probably would chew them, and they taste even more bitter. But
Yeah.
And then you head out. And there's towards by the Western Gate. Towards it, anyway. People have lodgings in different places. And that moves around sometimes. People find a different part of the airport, they make more of their home or whatever. But and as you get towards the gate, there's one thought that just comes over you that is just so strong, so something you're just sure of. Putting two and two together. It's Sixter. He's the one behind this. You must kill him. You must kill him now.
There you go, that's a good cliffhanger.
And that's where we're stopping. I can't believe it worked out. I can't believe it worked out for that. All right. We'll end there for the day. And
Looks like those weren't mind control resistance pills.
no, they're rubbish at it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's do experience then. Did you participate in the session? Yes, 1 point to everyone. Everyone's still here, right?
I'm here.
Okay.
Yep.
You're all been very quiet.
That was really good listening.
No. It's not a good story today. Another great session. I always have great sessions with this game. Did you perform a day's work for a project in the Ark? Yes, for McKellen. Did you explore at least one new sector in the zone? Yes, for the rest of you. Here we get to the questions which we don't always get. Did you sacrifice or risk something for your PC buddy?
Not really.
No.
Did you sacrifice or risk something for the NPC you want to keep safe?
No.
Nope.
Not particularly.
All right. You might have something for this one. Did you sacrifice or risk something to mess with the NPC you hate?
I was trying to oppose Ascartian with the annual rites.
Yes. And you did risk because you pushed.
It caused me massive doubt.
It did. I'll give you that. I was wondering, I don't know if it quite qualifies, but you're Vinny sowing the seeds of doubt in Maximon amongst the three.
So, my original thought was I was making the risk of going up the tower. My whole plan was kind of like to keep everything except like one thing. That was kind of furthering my goal, but yeah, also I did it to like essentially go up there to get, his gun to bring back to them to try to build that bond with them to try to steal them. So I don't know if it counts for both or if it's one or the other, but I feel like it's at least one of them.
You definitely risked something. You nearly fell to your death. So, yeah, I think together, yes, 1 point. And then finally, did you sacrifice or risk something to reach your big dream?
My dream is to find Eden. The only thing I did relating to that was show the Elder the pass. So it wasn't really a sacrifice or a risk.
No. Okay. Okay. That's all. So we end up with, let's see. The murder investigation has escalated. The Ark is on the verge of mob rule and panic. Those out in the zone are on an island infested with ghouls. Very likely the source of a large supply of pure water. The annual rites are nearly complete. And the burial site has gotten started, so a lot's going on. Oh, and possibly recruiting 3 more into the Kodiaks. Interesting developments.